All right, welcome. This is Godson Okorodudu, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you the 5 components of a successful ad campaign. The truth is that most advertisers don't look at the big picture when setting up the advertising campaigns, and that is why most advertisers don't get great results. If you want to set up a really successful, a widely successful campaign, you need to pay attention to all these 5 components. So first we'll be starting with what a successful ad campaign looks like, okay? Because for us to measure success, we should know what a successful ad campaign looks like. I think that's where we should start. Okay, so a successful ad campaign is one that is widely profitable, one that increases brand awareness, one that is exciting and engaging, one that meets the goals and the targets of the advertiser, and that's pretty much what a successful campaign looks like. One is that you want the campaign to be profitable. That means you want to make more in return than what you spent running the ads, or at the very least you want to break even depending on what your goal or what your objective for that campaign is. You also want to have increased your brand awareness. You want more people knowing about your brand. You want more people or previous people. You want to solidify your brand image, in their minds. Also, you want your campaign to be exciting, because actually it is excitement that sells. When you are able to get people to be excited about your adverts or your campaign based on the copy, the creative, maybe it's a video, and you're able to really engage them in such a way that you relate to their pains, their struggles, their hopes, their aspirations, you'll find out that such campaigns are actually the ones that are the most successful. And finally, you want to meet your goals on your targets. Probably you want to sell 100 units or 1,000 units of a product, or a service. You want to generate leads. Whatever your goals and your targets are, a successful campaign is one that actually meets those goals. Okay, so let's look at what the problem is. The problem with advertising is that most advertisers are using spray and pray ad techniques. What that means is that they just, when you spray water, just on a random group of people, you are just hoping that, your customer gets wet. But that is really not what you should be using. You want to bring your advertising down to predictability. You want to be able to predict the kind of results that you are pretty much expecting to get each time you set up your campaigns. Also, there is a lack of basic understanding of each ad component. So for most advertisers, they just maybe go to Facebook or Google or YouTube and you just create an ad, and just start running the ad without understanding each of these components and looking at the whole campaign from a big picture. So they actually create a campaign that fits into each of these components and gives them the results they are looking for. There is also the fear to spend money, or the fear to spend more money, that I've noticed. So most people just want to stick with a very small budget and they just want to keep running their ads, just like that. It's giving me little results. I just keep going on gradually. Most people are pretty much afraid to scale. They're pretty much afraid to spend money, and once you begin to overcome that fear, once you start spending real money advertising, then you start seeing the kind of success, the kind of results that you are looking for, the kind of results that you've been envying, other people for. Most of the people you're envying are spending 10 grand a month, $10,000 a month on advertising, and probably you are just spending less than $100 a month. So there's pretty much that fear to spend money, or that fear to increase the budget. Okay, and also commonly is the lack of testing. So you see a lot of people just running ads. They never do testing, they never do split test, they never check their creative, test their creative to see which one will perform better, or test two different variations of videos, or try two different headlines, or try two different ad copies. There's really no much testing in the industry for knob advertisers. They don't like to test, to see what brings good results. As long as better results, as long as they are getting good results, okay results, then they just stick with it. And like it's commonly said, the enemy of your greatness is your good. So if you keep resting and relying on what is good, then you're actually not going to get great results. Okay, so why do I like testing? So that I could find out what is working, find out what I can improve on, so I could get better result next time in a predictable manner. So you also want to add that to your advertising. You want to test, you want to know what works and what doesn't work. All right, so let's pretty much get into the five components. I'll just list them out for you. We have the offer, we have the ad objective, we have your customer, which is also your targeting, we have your ad angle, and we have the after click experience, what I call ACE, ACE, after click experience, or what you may also want to refer to as closing. So let's look at each of these components in more detail. So we'll start with the offer. So the truth of the matter is that the offer is one of the most important components of every advertising, every marketing, and the first thing you want to know is that your offer is not the same as your product. Your offer is not equal to your product. In fact, your offer is actually greater than your product. So you see a lot of people make the mistake, they just run adverts to a product, and they're trying to sell a product, but that's not what an offer is. You need to learn how to invest in building an irresistible offer, an offer that people can't just afford to turn down. When people see an ad, one of the questions that go through their mind is, why now? Why should I take this offer or this product now? So that is what your offer pretty much helps to build in. It builds in that urgency, it builds in that need. It shows that it gives the customer a good reason why they should be taking that a product from you immediately. It differentiates you from your competitors. 100 people could be selling the same thing, but this offer looks better than the other offer. So you also want to pay attention to what your offer is. So I've defined an offer as product plus additional value. So your offer is not just a product, it is your product plus an additional value that the customer will be getting when they purchase that product from you. So I'm just going to pretty much give you a couple of examples of what kind of additional value could go with a product that makes it an offer. You can combine any one or maybe more than one of these examples. So we have things like free shipping, we have support, we have discounts, we have bonuses, we have maybe more value, we have guarantees and warranties, we have a strong promise or a benefit. So you may not have thought of this as improving the reason why people should get a product or order or place an order from you, but they pretty much affect how many sales you get. So people want to know, would I get support, or is this product, if it's a physical product, is it going to be shipped to me free, or do I have to pay? Is there a discount going on? Is it limited to a number of people? Is there a special bonus that has been added, to this? Or is there a value? You have to think of your offer as that additional value. So is there a way you can position your product in such a way that it shows how much valuable it is to the customer? Do you have guarantees, maybe refund policies? You have warranties, and how strong is that guarantee? Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Is it 30 days? Someone may want to buy an air conditioning unit, and he'll pick a brand that is offering 2 years warranty over the brand that's giving just 12 months. So you need to look at how strong those offers are, and also it could just be a strong promise or a benefit that, stresses on the immense value that people get when they use your product. And don't also forget, your pricing is pretty much part of your offer. How much your product goes for. I'm not saying your price has to be the lowest in the market, or you pretty much have to use a very low price. I'm just stressing on the fact that people would only buy when your offer is greater than their price. So the truth is that your offer really determines if your marketing will be successful or if it will just fail flat. So ads is not really the problem. Many of the times your offer can be the problem. Okay, so like I said earlier, customers buy because your offer, or what we call perceived value, is actually greater than the price you're charging for it. So that is when they feel, oh, I'm getting a good deal. So when people feel that they're getting something more than what you're charging, then it becomes almost irresistible. And you can do that with maybe free shipping, support, discounts, bonuses, warranties, access. For instance, I could create an offer that doesn't even sell a product, but just gives people access to me, to my mind, or for business or marketing consultation. And I could craft that pretty much into an offer and give it at a price that looks smaller than what I'm offering, than that access to me, that access to my mind, and people would pretty much want to take it because it's almost irresistible, or it's an irresistible offer. So let's move to the next step, which is the objective. This is also a very important aspect of your component of your campaign, of your marketing campaign. And the truth is that everything rises and falls on your objective, because this is the barometer with which we can actually measure if the campaign is actually successful or not. So an example of what your objective is your sales, your leads. Do you want to get more sales for a product? Are you trying to get leads? Are you trying to spread brand awareness? Are you trying to get people to sign up, maybe registrations for a webinar or for a website? What your objective for that ad is pretty much how we measure if that ad is successful. And in fact, it dictates how we go about setting up that campaign in the first place. It affects every other thing, including your offer. Your offer needs to be tailored to really get people to take the objective or convert for the objective that you want. So if you're trying to get more sales, you're going to be running your ads differently from someone trying to just spread brand awareness or get people to register for a webinar. So these are very different things. So you need to decide, what is the objective for my ad? That's where you begin. What is the objective for my ad? When you've decided on what the objective is and the goals, when you're setting up the ad, then you can craft your offer to actually become irresistible, so people actually take that objective. So your objective is what even determines what you select as your objective when you want to run your ads on Facebook or Google or any of these platforms. So for Facebook advertising, for instance, if you are trying to get more sales, you want to use the conversion objective. So it's either you're trying to convert them for maybe a purchase or add to cart, or any of all these top of funnel, bottom of funnel, middle of funnel objectives, but you pretty much want to stick with the conversion objective. So if you're setting up another ad for the same campaign or for the same kind of product, but maybe it's a retargeting ad, your objective is quite different. You're trying to get people to convert, even though you may not be running a conversions ad. It may be a traffic ad with unique reach in mind, but you are trying to get back people who fell off your first ad or your first funnel. You're trying to get them back to where they fell off from the funnel. So that pretty much determines if you're going to be running a conversion ads, a traffic ads, or video views. That's if you're trying to get brand awareness, So this actually is one of the major places you want to pay attention to. So the final part of your objective is your goal. How many sales do you want? How many leads do you want? How many people are you trying to reach with your brand awareness? How many registration sign-ups are you trying to get? So you want to not only know what you want, but how many of what you want would you consider a success? All right, so let's get to another part which is very, very crucial, and that is who your customer is, your targeting. The key is not just, this key is not just for targeting your ads, but also for creating your ads in such a way that they sell. All right, so you need to ask yourself, who is my customer? I like to take this perspective of my customer. I like to look at my customer from the eyes of what they would know that no one else would know. For instance, what book would my customer read that no other person would read on the planet? Okay? For instance, as someone who is in the marketing niche, the business and marketing niche, I know that most people would not read The Confessions of an Advertising Man by Ogilvy, right? So most people would not read that. Most business people would not read that. Someone who has read such a book is pretty much interested in advertising, marketing, digital marketing, online marketing, and that's pretty much the kind of person I'm looking to reach online. So what kind of books would that person read? You apply the same technique for movies, for conferences, for celebrities, for TV shows, and for almost any other thing you can think about. So people who have different schools of thought pretty much like similar things, and that's in fact how Facebook algorithm is able to find your customers when you use the conversion objective, because they just look for the similarities between everyone who took your offer, and they try to look for people who have that same similarity, and they want to show your ads to them. So you want to know who your customer is. You also want to know what their pains are, what their beliefs are, what their hopes are, what their regrets, what are their aspirations, what are the things that keep them awake at night, what are the things they want to achieve, what major pain are they trying to get out of their life. Once you're able to understand your customer in depth, you would know the exact kind of keywords you should be using, you should be targeting in your ads. You would have the kind of words you should reflect in your ad copy, the kind of creatives you should use that kind of connects with this audience and gets them to take action. So let's go into ad angles, which is another component. So your ad angle is the front end of your ad. That's the part of your ads that customers see. Customers don't see your targeting, they don't see your objective, they don't see pretty much a lot of things that go on the back end. They don't see your ad budget, but what they do see is your ad angle, and that's very important. Your ad angle is your ad copy, your ad creative, which could be an image or a video, your ad headline, and your call to action button. Most people don't pay attention to the call to action button, but from split test and from my study, I found out that some buttons perform better than some for different offers. So you pretty much want to test your call to action buttons and know which ones perform best in your ads. Okay, so the first thing about your ad copy and your ad creative, in fact your ad angle in general, is that it has to engage, or connect with your customers. It has to connect, and the truth is that it shouldn't look like an ad. I see a lot of ads, they just trying to sell a product. Click here and buy this product, 50% discount. You pretty much don't want to look like an ad. You want to look like someone adding value, to people. People didn't come online to see ads. They came to relax. They came to connect with their friends, their family, and you actually don't want to ruin their space by just jumping on them and just attacking them like, come and buy from me. No, your ad shouldn't look so much like an ad. If you look at the best performing ads, they are ads that either inspire, educate, or entertain. So you want to take those routes. It's either you're entertaining, you're inspiring, or you're educating people, about a pain, a problem, a new solution, to their pains, their problems, or something that could actually help them achieve their goals, their desires, and their aspirations. And your ad angle should convey your promise quickly and effectively. When people shouldn't be looking for your promise in your ad. That should be what comes to them right off the bat. In the first few seconds of connecting or engaging with your ad, your promise needs to literally jump off the page and speak to the customers in such a way that it gets them hooked, it gets them engaged, it gets them to want to take action. One way to do this is to use hooks. Let me give you an example of what a hook is. For instance, in one of my ads, I said beginner or expert, here is a long kept secret you should know. Right? Beginner or expert, here is a long kept secret you should know. I was speaking to Facebook advertisers, and that's pretty much a solid hook. When someone reads that kind of ad copy, as that opening in an ad copy, he wants to know what is the secret. So that's what we call hooks. So hooks are used to convey promises, benefits, or are used to draw people into engaging with your ad copy and actually reading everything. You also want to state benefits. So your ad creative, your ad copy, your ad headline needs to, have hooks, benefits, maybe testimonials, or a quote that your customers are likely to agree with. For instance, I could make a quote like, if you don't work your ads won't work. That's a quote that most Facebook advertisers or marketers in general are going to agree with and say, yeah, this is true. So you want to, get people to keep saying yes to your ad copy. You also want to make statements of transformation, that can draw in your reader. For instance, in one of my ad copies, I remember saying, take the pain out of Facebook ads. That's a statement that shows the transformation people get when they take my offer. And that pretty much draws them to want to find out, what is this? How do I take pain out of, running Facebook ads? Okay. So, for your ad angle, oh, it seems I messed up my slide. Good, okay. Even if it's just for this part, I think it's worth it. Study what that's wrong. Study what other successful advertisers in your niche are doing and try to emulate them. That's pretty important. You want to look at other people's ads. Someone like me, I like to geek over ads. Probably I'm weird, but I learn a lot by looking at other people's ads. What kind of creatives are they using? What kind of ad copy? How do they structure their ad copy? How do they list their benefits? You want to try to study what other people are doing. Don't copy them, just try to emulate them, and you will have better performing ad angles. Okay, then finally we get to the part I call the ACE, after click experience, okay, which some other people like to refer to as closing. Okay, so how you close your customers is as important as every other step in the process, and that's a fact. You want to solidify and improve this stage. Once you are able to do that, you see massive results in your conversion. So for instance, if you close your customers after they click the button, if you close them using a sales page or maybe a landing page, you want to increase the page's conversion. You want to play around with elements that make people buy or take your offer. You want to try to add images or maybe a testimonial or something that could increase the page conversion. You want to make the page load faster. You increase the page page load speed. So what happens after people click on your ads? Maybe you need to improve the sales copy. You want to do everything possible to make sure that people are closed correctly on your page. Okay, if you have a checkout form, maybe you want to try reducing or taking away unnecessary fields that don't pretty much improve your conversions from your checkout forms. If you close using WhatsApp or any other manual interaction like Messenger, Instagram chats, any other way, phone calls, you want to improve your closing skills, because pretty much that's what dictates if you would run a successful campaign or not. You want to use urgency, you want to use scarcity, you want to use the client's doctor consultation pattern, where you are not talking too much, you're just asking the prospect or the client questions upon questions, that finally leads the person to getting the sale. You want to use any other technique that actually ensures that people convert immediately, because as it's popularly known, if people don't buy immediately, they most likely will never buy again. So if you're having problem, maybe people are always telling you, okay, I'll get back to you, maybe I don't have the money for it, you need to pretty much improve your selling skills. You need to read books, you need to read online, read free articles on how do I get people to stop telling me they'll get back to me, how do I get people to stop telling me, giving me this particular kind of excuse, and you would overall get a better performance from your ads. Alright, so this is the end. Thank you for sticking with me, and thank you for watching till this point. I hope that this helps you run better ads after now. Thank you. Bye.